The Enneagram instincts describe the most basic ways we function in our daily lives. The pattern normally goes that we operate out of one primary instinct, then our secondary instinct really just serves the first, and the last instinct is usually repressed due to some formative experience we had growing up. The three instincts are the self-preservation instinct, the social instinct, and the sexual instinct. These instincts lay on top of our personality, so it's really important to know your primary instinct because everything about your Enneagram type will be filtered through your instincts. Now that you got a bit more context, let's start out by describing how Type 3 achievers look when they operate primarily out of the self-preservation instinct. Self-preservation 3s are concerned with their material possessions and physical security. Self-pres 3s are often misidentified as Type 6 loyalists, which is also fueled by the fact that 3s integrate Type 6 traits in health. So if you identified as a Type 6 originally, but now you're hearing this and reconsidering, just be sure to put some serious thought into whether or not you're driven by a sense of shame around your identity like the Type 3, or if you're driven by an underlying wave of anxiety and fear like the Type 6s. It takes a lot of discernment to figure this out, so don't rush into getting attached to which Enneagram type you are if you're not quite sure. It's way better to say, I don't know my type yet, than to just choose one you like and then go down a path that leads to more confusion in the long run. Anyway, self-preservation 3s are extremely efficient and practical in how they do things. Their top concern in life is advancing their pursuit of lifelong goals, so any extracurricular activity often gets cut. Self-pres 3s love tangible rewards and having a specific career ladder to climb that guarantees status and wealth will increase over time. These traits make it harder for self-pres 3s to take breaks and chill, since they feel like time is money and time wasted means potentially losing your livelihood. Self-pres 3s are so driven to achieve their security that they can often get caught up in catastrophic thinking. So if they're stressed out and they get sick and then they have to miss a few days of work, and then it turns into, oh no, what if I don't get that promotion and then my career bottoms out? If the 3 has a 4 wing, they'll be even more prone to these dramatic bouts of catastrophic thinking. And this kind of unsustainable pressure makes self-pres 3s prone to burnout and even mental breakdowns caused by intense anxiety. Again, another reason they can look like 6s. When self-pres 3s can find a healthy work-life balance and perhaps partner with a trusted coworker or collaborator to help carry the load, then they can build beautiful empires of wealth and stability that benefit the lives of countless others. Okay, that's the self-pres instinct, on to the social instinct. 3s with a social instinct are perhaps the truest embodiment of the Type 3 personality as we know it. They are driven by prestige, and I love that word for social 3s because it reminds me of the movie The Prestige. If you've seen it, then you know that iconic moment in the film when Michael Caine describes the 3 steps that go into a magic trick or an illusion. Step 1 is the pledge, step 2 is the turn, and step 3 is the prestige. It's the wow factor that amazes the audience, and we all go, how'd they do that? But deep down, we all know it's just an illusion. And much like Hugh Jackman's character in that movie, social 3s will go to the furthest possible lengths to ensure that they have the audience's respect and admiration. However, social 3s are chasing a very fickle goal because culture, community, and life in general makes it impossible to retain that prestige forever. Because let's say physical fitness and beauty is your benchmark for success. Well, everyone gets older and loses the beauty of their youth. If success is having lots of money and nice things, well, what happens when there's a pandemic and you get laid off? This desire to remain socially prestigious can drive 3s to actually start lying about who they are, be it falsifying a resume, taking out loans and racking up debt, or getting cosmetic surgery. When social 3s do have a healthy sense of self, though, they are full of charisma and charm and can make people feel incredibly seen. Like when you have the full attention of a social 3, you just feel capable and energized because their confidence is so infectious. But enough about the social instinct. Let's get into the sexual instinct, the one you've all been waiting for. Now, the sexual instinct makes people uncomfortable because they think it's all about getting down and dirty. It's not. The sexual instinct is typically about a desire for quality over quantity and valuing intensity over serenity. But for sexual 3s, it actually is kind of all about being physically sexy. They want to be shown off by their partner, and if they don't already have a partner, they want to find a very desirable mate because they want people to think their partner is a catch. Now that could be someone who is physically beautiful or financially successful or famous. Either way, sexual 3s will seduce potential partners with their charisma, charm, and yes, physical beauty. And it's interesting to note that 3s and 2s are really similar in this area, but the primary difference is that sexual 2s give you tons of attention and affirmation, while sexual 3s draw attention to their best qualities and make you affirm them. Also, sexual 3s are very uncomfortable with emotional intimacy and vulnerability, as they much prefer, surprise, surprise, physical intimacy. The cliche of the sexual 3 is the one-night stand that wakes up in the morning and has no idea how to talk to the person they just spent the night with. The sexual 2, on the other hand, probably wake up and make you breakfast in bed. Sounds kind of awesome. So keep that in mind if you have a 2-wing 3 or a 3-wing 2 and aren't sure of your predominant type. Just think about your last one-night stand. That's probably like the worst example. Okay, last important thing to note is that sexual 3s typically have a deeper trauma tied to their father. As kids, 3s tend to get most of their attention from their overly involved mom, so their inability to have a well-rounded sense of sexual identity needs to be cultivated through platonic, healthy relationships across all genders. It'd also be pretty helpful for sexual 3s to take a season off from dating when they're younger so they don't develop this pattern of hopping from partner to partner. All right, those are the 3 instincts for the type 3 achievers. Now, let's move on to the triads.